Welcome back to the Explosive Transformation Playbook. This is Chapter 3. Okay, so Chapter 3 is called Integrating Tensions. Integrating Tensions. This is the next layer of skill that you'll need to drive into a level of subconscious mastery. Again, harmonic acquisition is the most important thing. You must have harmony acquired. So this is something that you can start working on while you're working on the AB voicings, the dominant upgrade, right? And you want to not start this at the beginning of your journey, but only start integrating this once you have a level of harmonic acquisition, once you're at least halfway through your journey in terms of harmonic acquisition. Okay. Tensions. What are tensions? Tensions are any kind of 9, any kind of 11, any kind of 13. Okay. So a lot of people think that, you figure out what goes on what through experimentation. And you can do that. But even better would be for me to literally teach you what goes on what, right? Instead of having to trial and error this thing. So the first place that you're going to want to apply this, of course, is diatonic chords. Okay, diatonic tensions. Now, I just want to stress, everything in this playbook is super actionable. It's action-based, okay? You can't just watch through the course and then expect to get results. Well, I know that's obvious, right? But when you actually go do the work, do the deep work that is required, right? Based on the frameworks that I am teaching you, you will reach this video and you will be at such a perspective, where all of this will make perfect sense to you, okay? So diatonic tensions. So, of course, we have the 1 chord, we have the 2 chord, we have the 3 chord, we have the 4 chord, we have the 5 chord, we have the 6 chord, and we have the 7 chord. Okay? All right? So, yeah. Okay, so first off, the 1 is a major chord, right? The 2 is a minor, 3 is a minor, 4 is a major, 5 is a major, 6 is a minor, 7 is a diminished, right? And then you have the 7th chord versions. Major 7, minor 7, major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, half diminished. Okay? Just want to check and make sure this is recording. Cool. Okay, great. So these are the tensions that go with each of the diatonic chords. For 1, we have 9 and 13. Okay? For 2, we have 9 and 11. For 3, we have 11. For 4, we have 9, sharp 11, 13. For 5, we have 9 and 13. For 6, we have 9 and 11. And then 7, we have 11. Now, there can be alterations on this 5 chord. This is actually a very extensive topic. So I'm going to teach you the minimum possible that I can teach you that will be effective enough for you to walk away from this and be able to find your way. Okay? So these are the diatonic tensions. Now, you don't have to use these, right? You could use just triads. But this is to say that these are the options on each of these diatonic chords, right? You don't have to use both of them. You don't even have to use one of them. But you can use both of them, and you can use one of them. They're just options. They're colors that you put on your chords, okay? And as you can see, there's a very organized structure to what goes on what, okay? So let's take a look at this. Now we're going to skill stack this on top of the diatonic exercise. Okay, let's see. All right, so let's say we have a 1 chord, right? We know that 9 and 13 are available on this chord. Okay, so if you're not super familiar with tensions, right? If you subtract 7 from all these numbers, you'll get the actual interval that these tensions will be. Where'd the notepad? Oh, here we go. 9 minus 7 is 2. 11 minus 7 is 4. 13 minus 7 is 6. So that's essentially the notes that you're going to be adding to these chords. So on a 1, we have 9 and 13 available, right? 9 is here, D. Okay, 13 is A. So those are your available tensions. So while you are going up and down the diatonic sequences, you can start to incorporate the available tensions while you're going up and down. Okay. 2, there's 9 and 11. 9 and 11. Okay. 3s, there's just 11 available. 4, there's 9, sharp 11, and 13 available. Here's 9, sharp 11, sharp 11, 13. 9 again at the top. Okay. Sharp 11, 13 at the top. Okay. 5, we have a 9, a 13. Honestly, oh, sorry, I played a 6-9 chord there. Okay, there's a 9 here too. Most of the time you're going to use the A-B voicings for 5s, so just look like this, right? Okay. Then for the 6, we have 9 and 11 available. So on the 6 minor chord, this looks like this, or like this. All right, and then 11. It's 11 right there. Okay. Then, of course, on the 7, we have 11 available. Right? Okay. And, of course, you see me doing a minor 2-5-1 here. 2, 5, 1. Right. Now I might be getting a little too in the weeds here, right? Because in the Explosive Transformation Playbook, it's really supposed to be about strategy. I am not expecting you to be able to do or understand exactly what I'm doing at all times here. The point is to give you the pathway and the strategy that you'll need to fish for yourself and understand how I went about my own explosive transformation. And remember, before I did it, I didn't understand a lot of these things either. And so harmonic acquisition is what does most of the work in terms of getting you to the place where your intuitive understanding is at a very high level. Okay. So yeah, those are diatonic tensions. Now, the cool thing is that now we have tensions for secondary dominants, right? The cool thing is that since you have learned A-B voicings, right? Since you already know A-B voicings, you have probably realized by now that there are certain tensions that go on certain secondary dominants, right? And just for context, at this point, you should have acquired harmony, right? You have a library of progressions in your head. and you master the A-B voicing movements that I gave you in chapter 2, the dominant upgrade, and you have used those A-B voicings to upgrade, right? So you've installed the A-B voicings inside of your understanding of the execution, right? So by now you've probably realized that certain secondary dominants carry certain tensions, right? So for example, a 5, 7, a 6 carries a flat 9, sharp 9, flat 13 kind of thing, right? So you can separate tensions into bright and dark, right? There's it's funny because I could like list every single secondary dominant and then talk about the specifics of each, but this I gotta get away from that, right? The explosive transformation playbook is about giving you the bare minimum to work with, and from there you use your resourcefulness to stack on top of the previous things, right? Because yeah, it's like I can teach you how to build the house, but I can't build it for you, if that makes sense, you know? So yeah, so basically, secondary dominance here. Secondary dominant tensions. Now, like I said, the voicings that you just learned have tensions baked already into them, so no need to fret, right? But in general, dominant chords, secondary dominants that go to minor have dark tensions. Secondary dominants that naturally go to major have bright tensions, okay? So that means 5, 7, or 6, or in a major key, right? 5, 7, 6, 5, 7, 2, 5, 7, 3, all have dark tensions. 5, 7, 5, 7 of 4, and 5, 7 of 5 all have bright tensions, all right? Like I said, if you learn the A-B voicings, this is already baked into those voicings, which you should have intuitively understood by now, okay? And then finally, we have modal interchange chords. It's very interesting looking at tensions on modal interchange chords, okay? So essentially, you're going to take the diatonic tension set, and the logic you can use is that you just apply it to the relative of whatever parallel mode you're borrowing from. So, for example, let's say that we are in the key of C, right? Let's say we're borrowing from key of C minor. So this is the key we're borrowing from, okay? So we know the chords in key of C, right? C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G7, and so on, right? Let's say that we have an A flat major 7. The question that we ask ourselves is, number one, what is the relative major of the key that we're borrowing from? Okay, so the key we're borrowing from is C minor. What's the relative major of that? E flat major. Okay, now what chord is A flat major in the key of E flat? The 4 chord. So then we would use this tension set here. Gets used on flat 6. Ooh, that's not a good arrow. So for example, right, 4 minor can use 9 and 11. Okay. Flat 6, major 7 can use 9, sharp 11, and 13, which you worked out. 9, sharp 11, 13. Okay. And then let's say flat 7, 7 can use, and by the way, obviously, if you're watching this before you've acquired harmony, this is not going to make sense to you, right? You're going to be like, what in the world are these things that you're saying, Alec? Right? These are quality combined with location. Okay. So there would be 9 and 13. 9 and 13 would be most naturally available. This is a starting point. There are special cases for every single, no, not every single thing. There are special cases occasionally, right? Like you could put a sharp 11 on this flat 7/7 chord, okay? So that's how you want to think about modal interchange in terms of the tension, right? So if I go to chord here, so if we're in C, right? Okay. Let's say I go to a 4 minor. We could put a 9 on that. See how good that sounds, right? I mean, first 2 chords to Sweet Love. All right. Flat 6, we can put 9, sharp 11, 13. Any combination of those. Okay. Flat 7/7, 9 and 13. We can use an A-B voicing for this. Dominants that have 9 and 13, we can just use an A-B voicing. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, cool. So that's how you want to think about tensions. Now, how do you actionably apply this, right? That's probably the question. Well, the secondary dominant tensions are covered by the A-B voicings in the dominant upgrade, chapter 2, right? So you don't have to worry about that. Diatonic diatonic and modal interchange is literally, diatonic and modal interchange tensions are really the same, except you have to think in a different key at the same time, right? So if you're thinking in C, right, if you're borrowing from the parallel minor, now you have to think in E flat because that's the relative major of C minor, right? So that'll be covered by that, right? The main thing you want to do is start infusing tensions, right? This is what you actually have to do. You want to start infusing tensions in the up and down diatonic exercise, okay? So, like I was saying before, you're going to go through here's the exercise. You're going to go through every single key and start integrating available tensions, right? You can even make a list, right? You can write this down on a notebook when you're ready for it, after you've acquired harmony, after you've done the A-B voicing stuff. Not at the beginning, because I know some of you are going to skip to this video because you're curious. And then you're going to be like, Alec, this doesn't make any sense. I'm so confused right now. You got to go back to harmonic acquisition. I mean, heck, go back to the first video, foundational principles. Then harmonic acquisition. Spend your 3 months there. Really, spend your 3 months focusing on harmonic acquisition. I've seen so many people who get, kind of impatient, and then they want to skip. They want to go as fast as possible. And then things aren't making sense. You're not able to drive things to a level of subconscious mastery because you haven't acquired harmony yet. So yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, the exercise. So this is what you're going to do. The diatonic sequences that you've completely mastered, all you're going to do is start incorporating tensions into them. You can use all root position. Too fancy here. I'm trying to sound like I would sound back when I was doing it, right? To give you a realistic viewpoint of how this should sound. right? And you do that in every single key. You can see I'm using available tensions. I'm using the 9s and 13s on this one chord. I'm using the 9s and 11s here. Right? 11. Make it tasteful though, like use your intuition. You don't have to use every single tension on every single chord, right? Just start slowly incorporating them. You can start with the available 9s. So that would be like a 9 here, a 9 here, okay? A 9 here on the 4 chord, a 9 here on the 6 chord, right? That's like the starter tensions, right? 9, 9, 9, and 9. 9, 9, 9. Okay? And then you can start incorporating the 11s, start incorporating the 13s. But the 9s are what you're going to be using first, okay, when you're doing this exercise. And when I say you're going to be doing the 9s first, I mean that's like the most common to start with, to apply. You can use the other ones. Remember, sharp 11 is a very peculiar tension because it is a tritone up from the root of the chord. It's going to be a little dissonant and pensive and very melancholy, a little sad and nostalgic, okay? So be cognizant of that flavor, the sharp 11 there. That goes for both 4 chords and flat 6 chords. Yeah, okay, I think we have it. And remember, you have my full permission to stay inside root position when you're doing this, okay? You want to remain inside root position until you have harmony completely acquired, because later on in a future chapter, we're going to be going over something that I like to call the master exercise, which is how you take your bread and butter 7th chords and then expand them out voicing wise, okay? So, yeah, there we go. I'm going to see y'all in the next chapter. Peace out.